We are in a new world that is constantly changing, sometimes cycling so far ahead of us that we feel unable to keep up. Now, this restlessness is not something specific only to college students. It's something that perhaps all of us can actually identify with. The reason why I'm focusing on college students is because that's not only the realm I'm most familiar with, but because my peers are the source of inspiration and clarity towards this message I want to share with you today. I was born in the eastern part of the world. I moved from Dubai to the United States when I was 5 years old. At a considerably young age, I was but a sponge, soaking in the experiences from around the world, but more importantly, the important and powerful individuals who surrounded me. With exposure to these individuals and to the world, it allowed me to streamline towards an objective way of thinking. When I came to this university, almost 4 years ago now, that's just crazy for the record, I was astounded with the amount of brilliant and talented individuals I was surrounded with. These individuals were my age, but they were so ambitious and disciplined, all in their respective fields. It was amazing. Now I, just like my college students and my peers around me, we felt the weight of the future on our shoulders. Not only our futures, but the future of our world, of our country, of our species. Now, you may not expect such profound thoughts from a group of college students who essentially play beer pong for a living, but I can attest to the pressure that we feel to make a difference, a real difference in this world. So surrounded by these incredible individuals who are working day and night, trying to maximize their crafts, look at their resources, create their ideas, make their visions come into reality, I was surprised and more of confused really to see more than half of them falter in their steps. I just couldn't understand it. It was like watching a race and the top 5 people leading it slightly stumbled and then just walked off the track. I couldn't understand it. I knew it wasn't a lack of their intelligence, their talent, or their will and desire to work. These people were as crazy as I was, and they were more than willing to give up a few parties and even sleep in order to get one step closer to their vision. It concerned me, seeing this restlessness just settle into their bones and manifest its way into their everyday lives, affecting not only their individual work, but their schoolwork, their families, their social life. As a friend, I just wanted to understand. I asked not just 1 or 2 of these friends, but all of them. What happened? And I got basically the same answer from all of them. You see, it wasn't something that had happened. Rather, it was something that was happening. That fear of, and that difference of being who they wanted to be and where they currently were, and where they wanted to be and where they currently are, it was curving into this relentless fear of not being good enough, into a fear of possibly not being where they thought they had to be, into this fear of imperfection. Now, imperfection has been wrongly romanticized by my generation. We reduced it to something as superficial as a scar on our face, saying that we should embrace our imperfections. But I think that by romanticizing imperfection, we've taken the significance out of it because we haven't fully explored its depths. But before we can talk about imperfection, we first have to talk about its counterpart, perfection. So what is perfection? Well, there is no standard definition for that. What is perfect to me is completely different from what's perfect to my father, is completely different from what's perfect to my best friend. Perfection is the ideal vision we have for our lives. Perfection is our idea of the perfect job, the perfect friendships, the perfect relationship. You get the idea. Perfection is that goal that we have inherently set for ourselves. Every time I ask someone, what is it that motivates you? What is it that drives you? The most common answer I get is happiness. Now, on occasion, I get the answers like family, success, and money, but it gets me thinking, what is it? These answers are also subjective. They're only a small part of it if you actually think about it. Because if I were to ask myself, what is it that drives me? What is it that drives me to do more? What is it that motivates me to do more? It will be the lack of having something, anything that took me away from my vision of perfection. In other words, imperfection. If I were to ask everyone here to imagine, what is it? Imagine yourself as your perfect self in your ideal life. For how long would that remain your vision of perfection? Not too long, probably. I see that there are 2 potential reasons for that. 1, imperfection is what drives us to do more. It is what shows us where we want to be and where we currently are. That may not make a lot of sense, but think about it. What is it that makes you work more for that grade, harder for that promotion, for that girl? What is it that makes you even drink more water in a day? Because there's something that tells you that if you were to do X, Y, or Z, that your life will be better, that you will be one step closer to that vision. We as human beings, we seek that feeling of fulfillment, of being complete. I'm going to make that stretch to synonymize complete with perfect. And 2, imperfection is a double-edged sword of our existence. Because while it is the one thing that reminds us of where we want to be, it's the one thing that motivates us, it is also the one thing that can completely mobilize us with fear and uncertainty. Nobody wants to admit that they're not where they are just yet. Nobody wants to admit that they're anything less than perfect. Nobody wants to admit that they're imperfect. But the beauty in admitting that imperfection is not only inevitable, but it's necessary. It's the one thing that keeps driving us. That life on its own is a journey to this ideal vision that we have set for ourselves. And that vision, just like our world, is constantly changing and shifting. This theory of imperfection proposes that imperfection is the elixir of life. Thank you.